of whether or not an MP can be arrested in their home. Let me extend that.
No, but by the way, let me just say that I was
Mm.
arrested in my house.
Ah, there
In
you go.
July of 2017,
Mm,
a warrant was served on me,
mm,
and they searched my house because I understood, the law. I didn't claim any immunity from
mm,
search. I didn't claim any immunity from arrest.
mm,
Okay, the idea behind this, and I keep emphasizing, is that
mm.
the work of Parliament should not be unduly interfered with by external forces.
Okay, that's a point well made.
Yeah.
I wanted to get clarification on the specific issue that we're dealing with, the specific example that has brought this back. So,
Okay.
can an MP be arrested on Sunday in church?
Yes, an MP can be arrested on Sunday in church. All right. Now, let me make a clarification here.
Mm,
The Honorable Sosu made a point, and I think on one of the stations, where he said that he was actually on parliamentary duty.
in church.
Yes, he was, and we all do that. I mean, in my constituency, I go to churches, to thank them for, praying for me during the election, or
Mm,
supporting me during the election, and so on and so forth. Okay,
mm,
or when there is maybe a church harvest, I
mm.
attend the harvest in my capacity as a member of parliament.
Right.
All right. The question is whether that is parliamentary duty covered by the immunities and privileges under Article 117 of the
Let me
Constitution.
read Article 117. Maybe that can help us.
Right.
It says, and I quote, civil or criminal process coming from any court or place out of Parliament shall not be served on or executed in relation to the Speaker or a member of or the clerk to Parliament
Yeah.
while he is on his way to, attending at, or returning from any proceedings
Yes.
of Parliament.
Right.
So, being in church to meet your constituents, would that constitute proceedings of Parliament?
But that's a very interesting question, because even in England, all right, as far back as um, 1840, the question of proceedings of Parliament, what constitutes proceedings of Parliament,
Mm,
has always been problematic. All right, and um, since the 19th century, they have been struggling with defining the limits of proceedings of Parliament. All right. In fact, the last committee that looked at the issue of proceedings of Parliament in England,
mm,
no, in the United Kingdom, was in 2013. All right, a joint committee of the House of Commons and then the House of
mm,
the House of Laws looked at the question of proceedings. What constitutes proceedings of Parliament?
mm,
So, for instance, at the Australian Act that I read,
mm,
okay, uses the word meets. Okay, so on a day the body meets, so a committee of Parliament meets.
mm,
All right. So, for instance, on the day that I think on a Monday, when the police were everywhere looking for Sosu,
mm,
we're at a caucus meeting. All right, and caucuses are recognized as entities within Parliament officially.
mhm.
All right. So the question is, if you're at a caucus meeting, is that a proceedings of Parliament for purposes of the enjoyment of the immunity from arrest?
Privilege. Mm,
Okay. Now, the Constitution itself doesn't define what constitutes proceedings of Parliament. All right. But I would, think that it refers to any formal meetings, okay, or activities that the members of Parliament engage in their official capacity as members of Parliament.
mm,
All right. So, where you are engaged in an activity that is more of a private, a private, of a private nature,
mm.
I do not think that that will be covered by the word proceedings as
So,
used.
being in church to meet your constituents?
I think that will not fall within the meaning of proceedings of Parliament.
Okay.
Will be stretching the meaning of
Mm,
proceedings too elastically
mm.
if we consider that
Yeah.
meeting your constituents if going to church, all right,
Mm,
we're covered, all right, but if again in England, all right, the question of a meeting with one's constituents, all right, becoming part of proceedings of parliament was considered and subsequently dropped.
Right.
Various committees recommended that it be dropped because it was then stretching the concept of proceedings of parliament.
All right. I want to